Have you ever been in a situation wherein you needed to complete a task but end up not doing it or cramming to the very last minute to finish it? In a world where attention span is very short and distractions are abundant, distractions are actually one of the major productivity killers. And in this book, we break down the different strategies and tactics on how you can become indistractable and control your attention, better focus on completing your tasks. So my name is Pao and I'm here to break down my 5 key takeaways from the book Indistractable by Nir Eyal. Let's start with the first one by, understanding the word distraction. Traction versus distraction. So before we go delve into the tactics, let's first understand what is distraction. It starts with the root word, right? The traction, which basically means anything that we do that leads us towards reaching our goals. And the word distraction is anything that we do, any external factor, internal factor that moves us away from achieving our goals. So the key thing to note here is, when you want to achieve our goal, you always need to think about what are the things you need to do, what are the habits you need to build to gain momentum in helping you achieving those or brings you closer to achieving your goals, right? And picking off for from that nugget of wisdom, right? We also need to understand what are the main motivators of people. And there's a concept called, sovereign masters. It's either people want to avoid pain and or want to experience pleasure, right? These are the main motivators for a lot of people on whether they pursue doing something or they stop doing another, right? So one of the good quotes here is anything that removes discomfort is addictive. One example there is boredom, right? In our world today, there's a feeling of discomfort if we're bored, right? And the reason why social media apps like Facebook, Instagram are highly addictive is because it helps solve the discomfort of boredom, right? If we're bored, if we feel bored, waiting in line, a simple, a refresh of your news feed, it helps solve that boredom problem. So again, anything that removes discomfort is addictive, and having control on your emotion, uh, it's very powerful. Having understanding of your emotion, what are your main motivators, it's very powerful in you being able to achieve your goals. It's either, avoid pain or gain pleasure. Since we understand now how the difference of traction versus distraction and our main motivators, we'll delve into the tactics on how you can become indistractable. So one of the key nuggets of wisdom here is time blocking, right? It's making that deliberate effort to encode in your calendar a specific task that you want done. So there's an old saying that goes, if we don't plan for our time, someone else will. So one of the there's what you call the Parkinson's law, which basically states that work expands to the allotted time that we give it, right? That's why it's very important to have a calendar, lock in time, wherein you want to do a specific task, because unless you make that deliberate effort, enter it into your calendar and dedicate time to finish it, it tends to expand depending on how much time you actually give it. So again, one of the main productivity hacks is time block. Identify a task you want completed, add it into your calendar, and do the hard work during that specific time. Treat it as if you're meeting your boss or an important business meeting. The second key tactic is how can you prevent distraction using pacts or commitments to yourself. The first one is the effort pact, right? Let's say you want to live a healthy life. In order for you to implement this effort pact, it's either you increase or decrease the amount of effort you need to achieve a certain task or goal. Like for example, if you want to become healthy, right? Increasing the effort for bad habits, like if you are a junk food addict, right? Make it hard for you to gain access to junk food by not having it in not having stocks in your cabinet or drawer, having to go to the grocery or to the convenience store just to buy it, or decrease efforts needed to work out, like preparing your gym clothes in advance or wearing it while you sleep, so that by the time that you wake up, it reduces the effort to actually get that momentum and finish your task. The second one is price pack. So a commitment, like for example, if you want to lose amount of pounds by 3 months, right? Other people do is they have a commitment to themselves. If they do not work out, they need to put 1,000 pesos in their savings jar every time that they don't work out. So in terms of the price pack, for it to be effective, it needs to be painful enough for you to actually motivate you, to push you to actually finish that task. And the last one is identity pack. So it's very powerful. Depending on who we identify ourselves with, the stronger we are motivated to actually fit into that identity. Like for example, the working out scenario that I mentioned. If I identify myself as someone who is healthy, who is fit, uh, subconsciously, I try to fit that identity in order to, build habits for me to um, still remain within that identity. So if I identify myself as a fit and healthy person, I also need to, build habits that would best identify me as that healthy and fit person. So those are, a few tips of how you can prevent distractions through packs. And the last one is control the input, not the output. We may not control the outcome, but we can control the time we allocate to do a certain task. It goes hand in hand with the time block um, scenario tactic, as I mentioned earlier. So, for example, you may not control whether or not you're able to meet your weight goal for the next few months, right? But what you can control is the amount of effort, the amount of time you put into working out, you put into eating a healthy diet. So again, it's not having the mindset of, although the output, you have a clear goal, you have a clear visual representation of what you want to achieve, but it's more powerful if ever you focus on things that you can control, such as your input, right? The amount of time you put into working out, the amount of time you allocate for eating healthy, and so on and so forth. So those are my 5 key takeaways from the book Indistractable. If you like that book, I made tons of other summaries which I do every Sunday evening. You go to youtube.com, search Paulo Balinas, and this is the 29th book actually. And yeah, that's it. And see you again next Sunday, and have a great day.